It's the kid, 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 it's the kid. It's the kid, Double H, trying to live, trying to exist, trying to stay alive, trying to be the best guy that I can be. We are back in here for this lovely thing that we call the Hangout, man. We're trying to live, we're trying to live, we're trying to say goodbye, we're trying to live, we're trying to say goodbye, we're trying to live, we're trying to say goodbye. So let me just first explain the order of things to today. First of all, welcome to this beautiful Saturday Open Hangout. Remember to join the Hangout. You just need to just click the flipping link I put on that Twitter page. If you're too late, it's your fault. Screw you. So we're going to be discussing Barcelona. We're going to be looking importantly at the very fascinating La Liga title race. We're going to be looking at what has gone wrong at Barcelona. What about Arthur? Then, speaking of Arthur, we will then be talking and addressing and giving our thoughts on the Pjanic and the Arthur swap deal and what we think about that. Does that work well? Who does that work for? Who even came up with the whole Pjanic-Arthur swap deal? Then we're going to address Ighalo, one of the greatest strikers of his generation. And we're going to talk about how and whether Man United should in fact sign Ighalo. And after we've done that, we just might take some of the break questions that you guys ask. But let me say this right now.
What about Hakimi?
Let me say this, easy, relax, man. Let me land. So let me just say this right now. I will not be, from henceforth, I will not be answering any more questions about Messi and Cristiano. That is it. I have said my piece. I've said what I've always had to say, that Cristiano and Messi are comparable as goal scorers. Messi has been, will always be overall the better football player. Any questions about that, maybe these guys can answer. In fact, I won't even take any of those questions. We have to move on. Football is greater than these two international flops. So, with that being said, and without further ado, Ski, let's talk. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a nice debate. Let's have a nice, interesting shebang. So the first thing is Barcelona. They dropped points against a team called Vigo. Vigo, from I think before they played, are currently 16th in the table, and this seems as if Real Madrid have taken the initiative, because if Real Madrid can say what's up on Sunday, they will in fact be they will come close to be the La Liga champions. They'll go 2 points ahead of your boys. So I've already talked enough. I already gave my thoughts at the post match. This is about you guys to voice your thoughts. So the first thing is with Barcelona dropping points in 2 games right now, what is the biggest issue with why Barcelona are failing and why they have been flopping so badly this season? So I'm going to come first to Clayton. So the first thing is that who would you put the blame? Okay, you got this. So who would you put the blame on? Would you put the blame on? So do you put the blame on Setien? Do you put the blame on Messi having too much power? Do you put the blame on Griezmann, on Bartomeu? What is the real reason why Barcelona are flopping and breaking it up? Wilton C, give me your thoughts. What is the real reason? What is the real issue happening at Barcelona? Why they've been failing? Wilton.
I think the whole reason why we always talk about this every time, it's the over reliance on Messi. If Messi doesn't have a Superman game, Barcelona are winning the game.
But more times than not, he has superhuman games, man. More times than not.
That's the thing. You just like I hate bringing what if in soccer. That Liverpool game, to be honest with you, if Messi didn't have a really good game like that, Barca should have lost that game. But they somehow won that game because it's Camp Nou. But it's been happening ever since Neymar left. The over-reliance on Messi. Even while you're watching the game, you're like, Messi, are you going to score a game winner for Barca? Are you going to score a free kick goal? Are you going to put in a good crossing for somebody to score? If Messi is not doing all that, Barca can't succeed. It's always been like that, over-relying on Messi. And you watching Rakitic play today, it's like, man, you forget how to play midfield? Like, don't just pass the ball to Messi, man. Like, look for open runs. Suarez is making runs. Pass him the ball.
No, but I thought Rakitic was all right in the game.
Nah, he cost him the second goal, though. That second goal was crucial. I think was it the second goal? The first goal. The first goal, I mean. That pass he did to Puig, and then the Celta Vigo player intercepted the ball. Then Aspat obviously did that nice pass, and it was a tap. And Rakitic didn't really have a good game today. He was decent. And talk about Griezmann. Griezmann, oh my God. That guy was brought in to help Messi out. He's not even on the pitch to help Messi out. This guy's on the bench for 70, 80 minutes, then they bring him in. Like, not to do anything. Like, I always said the same thing.
So do you think it's all over for Griezmann? It's finished because he got benched by a fetus. Is it all over for him?
At Barcelona, yes. But if he wants to relive his career again, I would leave Barcelona because, like you said, that play style does not fit him. Griezmann played better on the counter attack play style team. He's not good with keeping possession. Even when you watch France play, France is not a possessing team. They play on the counter attack, like fast paced football. Griezmann, he just doesn't have this. He's not on the same wavelength as Messi. We just say with Suarez and hey,
Okay.
hell, you could even say what's that kid name? The 17-year-old kid.
He
He has better
Fati.
chemistry. Yeah, Fati. He has better connection with Messi.
All right. Okay. So LB, what do you think the issue is at Barcelona? What is going wrong? I mean, is it really a case of Messi? They're too over reliant on Messi. Messi has too much power, or is it just as simple as they just have a trash manager?
I think it's a combination of things. If you think about Barcelona as a whole team, they are definitely a team that's on the decline. If you look at the guys like Busquets, Rakitic, Suarez, these are players that were part of that 14-15 Champions League winning side, which was almost 5-6 years ago now. So let's face it that these players aren't the same as they were 5-6 years ago. So they're naturally going to be on the decline. As for Messi and Barcelona being over reliant on them, I very much think that is the case. They're turning more like the Argentina national side every day, becoming over reliant on Messi. That being said, Suarez did score the goals today, which was good for him and for Barcelona. But this whole sort of Barcelona culture where when it was under the coaching of Pep Guardiola, where it was tiki-taka and there was no one bigger than the club, that's all sort of gone down the drain, gone out the window over the last 4 or 5 seasons now, and they're becoming exposed. They've been exposed in the Champions League, and now they're becoming exposed in in La Liga.
Okay, so it seems you're alluding to something. So is it a case of if the opportunity arose, they bring back Pep? Could Pep save them?
Look, Pep, with the relationship that he's had with Messi, I'm trying to think who else would have been there. PK, Busquets. I don't think there was anyone else in this current Barcelona side under Pep. I think he would be of assistance, but I'm not sure whether he'll change much because, as I said before, this is a team that's naturally on the decline as well and rebuilding. But if the opportunity is there and Barcelona are willing to take it, and if they're that desperate, I'm sure Pep will make some sort of a difference. But yeah, I think it's just a combination of factors that's leading to Barcelona's downfall recently.
Okay. And let me just hit this. From Just Beston, who says, "Preach, Harry Beckenbauer Maguire, top 10 centre backs in the world." Beston, remind me, you played against a team whose owner cooks food. Norwich City. Please behave and please have some respect for the sport of football. Norwich City, please. Thank you. Mr. Mastero Kid, is your mic working there? Mastero Kid, is your mic working? Man, look. I am Ham. Is your mic working? I am Ham. Is your mic working?
Hello?
Yes. Is it? Can you speak?
Yeah, my mic was working.
Okay, good. So, Ham, what is the issue with Barcelona? Is Messi trash? Is the manager trash? Is the club trash? Or is Griezmann trash? What is this main issue as to why Barcelona have dropped points in back-to-back games?
It's nostalgia. All nostalgia. Just think about it. Everybody remembers the best of Barcelona. Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, all of these people. And now, what do we have? Messi. and Messi. Everybody else there is just a joke. Busquets, who is this guy? Should have retired 2 years ago. PK, this guy's a billionaire. What is he doing? He should have retired. We don't need a PK anymore. Get this guy out of here. And really, everybody just looking at Messi like he is Mr. Magic Man. Doesn't solve anything. So, I mean, it's clear. It's clear that everything is about Messi, and the whole entire team is just can't move on from Messi and the good old days.
So, how would you say then? Do you rehire Pep? Do you hire another manager? Do you sell Messi and start from scratch? How do you? Man?
You sell Messi. Sell Messi. Okay.
Wait. Excuse me. What?
If you don't want to sell Messi, you make Messi player manager. Make Messi player manager, or you sell Messi. Because Messi is basically being babysat at the moment. Everyone's saying, Messi, you are the guy, but you're babysitting him. So, like, is he the guy?
Wait. Let me get it straight. So I am first of all, I mean, this has been one of the best hangout debuts I've ever had. So first of all, you're saying that Barcelona should either sell Messi or make him a player manager.
Exactly.
Okay, please expand. Why? Why do you think that they should do either of these two things, player manager or sell him?
Because if they have Messi there, right, and they're saying Messi is the most important person who every decision has to go through, then Messi has to make every decision. If they're gonna say, okay, Messi, you or our star on the tree, but then like we're gonna make your tree out of like fake plastic and shit, like nothing's gonna happen. The star looks good, but the tree needs to complement the star.
So let me ask you this before I jump off. If you were Barcelona, if you were the president of Barcelona, what would you do personally? What decision would you take personally?
Personally, after what Messi has done to so many good players, I sack Messi. Sell Messi 200 million in the pocket, buy like 5 good players, and you've got a restored Barcelona. Real Madrid is trash, okay? These guys couldn't win a league during Valverde's time. Oh my God. Think about this. This is a team that lost to Roma. Okay? Then they literally lost a semi to Liverpool. I'm a Liverpool fan. I called it because I knew Barcelona is trash. Messi, and when it comes down to the bottom line, can't do anything. He's just a guy. He's not a god. He's just a guy.
So you would personally sack Messi? You would sack him? Sack him,
bruh. Sack him. Griezmann just won a World Cup. What more do you need him to do?
Okay. See, I'm saying now you're getting into scary territory right now. So I'm going to ask you a simple question, and I want you to think long and hard before you answer this. So please, now are you telling me that Barcelona should sell Messi and keep Griezmann?
Look,
no. There's no look. It's a simple question.
Who is a better teammate?
No. It's
from past evidence. Who's a better teammate, Messi or Griezmann?
Just answer me a simple question. I'm asking you a simple question.
I told you, sack Messi. No, Griezmann.
Just answer the simple. My friend, just answer the simple question.
Okay.
Would you sell? Are you saying that to sell Messi and to keep Griezmann? Yes or no?
Yes. Messi is from another age in football, not this age. Messi is good, but he's doing old school stuff, man. Things Ozil and them were doing back in the day. We need fast, active people at the moment. Are you telling me with 200 mil, okay, you sell Messi for 200 mil? You can get a Sancho. You can get a Kevin De Bruyne. What else do you need?
Well, look, as I said again, look, it's one of the most shocking things that I've ever heard. But in a weird way, maybe there is some logic to what he says in terms of, you know what, start from scratch. Start from scratch. Because again, look, Barcelona have won everything they've already won with Messi and so forth. And if there's a possibility to get like 200, 300 million for him and get and build an entirely new team from the ground up with a different manager without the whole Messi thingy, maybe it could be something. So look, man, he could just have something there. So I test Barcelona. What's the issue? How do you solve it?
For me, I wouldn't go as far as the other guy to dismiss Messi acting like he's not one of the greatest of all time. I think he's one of the greatest of all time. But in a way, I do agree with saying we need to move on with him. I think the issue with Barcelona is, I think what Barcelona need to do is try build from the beginning, like build from scratch. Sell Messi, sell PK, sell Busquets, and try build the new generation. Yeah, when it was Ronaldinho's time,
would you sell Messi?
If someone actually put up 200 million, yes, I would sell him because he's 33 years old. I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the greatest players of all time. But if someone gives you 200 million or even 100 million, take it. Yeah. Sell these PKs, these Busquets, build from scratch, build a team around the Ansu Fatis, the other guy, the Pooch. Yeah, they should have kept Arthur. Puig. Yeah, that guy. De Jong, Arthur. I don't know why they sold him. They need to try build the next thing, the next big team. Yeah, because like I was gonna say, when Ronaldinho's time came, they had to let him go. He's been a great servant to the club, but his time came. Now it's Messi's time. I'm not saying he's declining. I'm just saying they need to build a new team. Build their next big team. Forget about winning the title or Champions League in the next 2 years. Next 2 years, build the new team, the new team that will dominate for the next 10 years. And then after 2 years, once you build that team, then you start dominating for the next 5-10 years. That's what I say.
Okay, it's fair. It's fair. Stodge, Barcelona. What is the issue here? What should they do? Do you agree that Messi should be sold, like our previous two gentlemen should say? What should happen?
No. Messi should not be sold under any circumstances. I mean, this is the first hangout where I just keep on saying, damn. I mean, these guys, I've never seen anyone so disrespectful to Messi. Not even BDCore has come out and said this. God. Anyway, Messi's a legend, man. He's one of the GOATs in football, minimum top 3 greatest footballers of all time. He made Barcelona. I mean, let's be honest. Before he arrived at Barcelona, he made his debut. I could make a case that they weren't that much more successful than Arsenal. But you look at them today, and they're one of the most successful teams ever. And you mean to tell me that your greatest player ever, you're going to sell your greatest player ever?
Well, but Barcelona won the Champions League in the 90s, and they won it really before Messi was doing his thing, which Arsenal have never done. So,
yeah, but it's not much of a difference. I mean, he made them into one of the biggest clubs in the world. You even look at the rise that they took financially since he's made his debut. I mean, he's brought so much value to this club. They cannot sell him. And the second point is, why are you selling Messi when he's your best performing player? These other guys, they're not performing. Griezmann's not performing. Suarez is 80s. I mean, he performs sometimes, but he's not that consistent anymore. Why sell Messi? Messi's, today you got 2 assists. Why is he getting the blame? It's retards in the back.
300 mil, build a totally new team without
no one's. If Neymar was 200 million, no one's buying Messi for 300 million. I mean, it's just reality. And plus, today they need to get defenders. Don't sell Messi. Get some defenders. You got 2 retards in the back. Titi, one of the worst defenders I've seen in my life, and HH.
World Cup winner.
I'm gonna say your take on Semedo. being one of the best right backs is one of the dumbest things I've heard in my life. This guy, when I was watching today, is by far one of the worst defenders I've ever seen. He can't
He had
control
one bad game.
No. He's always bad. Half the time I've seen this guy, he's rubbish. And you keep on telling us
he's still better than Trent.
No. I mean, you see, keep Messi. Messi's great, man. He's greatness. He's greatness. You gotta keep greatness. And also, what message are you sending as a club if you don't appreciate your greatest player ever? This guy has been loyal to you. You could have moved plenty of times. He stayed. He delivered trophies. And just return the favor as well.
Okay, Jamal, what should Barcelona do, man? How do they get back to the top? Who needs to be sacked? Who needs to be sold? What needs to be changed?
The board are doing sabotage right now. They are in a whole mess. Barcelona need a whole revamp. Sorry, Barca fans, it pains me to say this, but you have to hear the truth. You guys are trash right now. Sorry, but you are trash. Because the game I watch, I really sit down and I watch the game against Celta Vigo. Guys, do you know Barca lost to a set of Spain journeyman rejects? They lost to journeyman. I watched the team. Nolito, failure at Manchester City. Espas, guys, I know Liverpool is a happy city right now, but if you mention his name at Liverpool, you can get jumped. Nolito, I said, Espas. Look, Rafinha, even Barcelona own garbage. I mean, come on, this guy lost to Spanish journeyman. It's bad at Barca right now. Right now, Barca need to get a younger team. The average age of Barcelona team is 32. That's bad. That's very bad. They should just keep Messi and just sell the rest of the team. But no, the Barca board say they're gonna sell one of their younger players to bring in a fella who is 30 years. I mean, it's stupid. It's dumb. I don't understand it. How can you sell one of your youngest players when your squad is old? PK is 32. Messi is 33. Rakitic is over 30. Griezmann turning 30 this year. The squad is old, man. So right now, Barcelona are trash, and it's because the players are too old and the board is sabotaging by bad signings and making dumb, stupid decisions.
So, okay, so you're saying to replace the board then? The board needs to be replaced.
Yeah, they need to. Because if they don't replace the board, I'm telling you, Barca, I won't say they'll end up at Arsenal bad, but they might be like where Atletico is right now. Okay. Even should I say AC Milan? Nah. I don't think so yet.
Jamal, relax. Jamal, it's Milan is a very special case. Red Devils studio, man. Barcelona, man. What's the issue, man? What needs to be done? Should Messi be sold?
Okay, I think the first thing I'll say is that, I think everyone can agree if ter Stegen wasn't in the Barcelona goal, things would be a lot worse for Barcelona this season, both in the Champions League and both in La Liga, because he has saved Barcelona on numerous occasions with very, very good and very fantastic saves. So
Stegen has been that dude, man. Yeah.
I actually agree, and I don't usually agree with Studge, but on this case, I will, because I don't really get I had to actually rewatch the game a few times just to see why these goals were conceded and what have you, and I don't really get why the blame should be on Messi. I don't think this can be blamed on Messi at all. Really, he made 2 really good assists, and the first one was incredibly clever, but the goals were conceded from poor defensive errors, as simple as that, So, and I've said on this podcast multiple times how Barcelona need to revamp their defense. They need to get a central defensive midfielder in. That second goal that they conceded, it actually annoyed me, because I hate when I see defenders turn their back. If you watch it when the creep comes in. Anton Griezmann.
Well, I think it was mainly Griezmann who turned his back.
Yeah, Griezmann. Yeah, that's what I mentioned. Yeah, Anton Griezmann turned his back. So I hate when I see players do that. It's one of the most frustrating things to see, because just take it. So you can't account for this. And the reality is, as people mentioned before, is the reality of the board. We keep on talking. It's not as simple as just saying, right, okay, they sell Messi, they get £300 million or whatever. This board has already spent hundreds of millions of pounds already. I'm a United fan. I know the idea you spend millions of pounds doesn't mean that you're going to change anything. You have to actually have the and to actually spend the money on the right players and with a right philosophy for it to work, aka Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool. You can see what's happened with there. You know, they spent 100 million on Coutinho, they spent 100 million plus on Griezmann, they spent 100 million on Dembele. You know, we're now looking at the whole Pjanic and Arthur situation. So just spending money, if there isn't a logic or mentality behind how you get players, is reason. So for me, the situation goes higher. I don't know what the sporting director of Barcelona was doing, if they have a sporting director, because it doesn't look like they have, because they just seem to just be buying players anyhow. But in the intermediate future, if there's anything that can be changed, they need to replace Busquets, and they need to get a solid defender, world-class defender, to shore up that back line. That's probably the immediate thing that they can get fixed, not sign or not midfield.
Okay, so you would prioritize a defender rather than a top-class attacker to help Messi?
I would prioritize a central defensive midfielder, holding midfielder, and a defender. Yeah, those would be the two positions I prioritize over an attacker, because, you know, the issue.
But the reason why, okay, just sorry to cut you off, but the reason why that doesn't make sense is looking at Barcelona, even looking at the game against Liverpool. If they had scored 1 or 2 goals, they win the game. They're creating chances, but Messi's having to do too much because Cannavaro is decline. Griezmann is trash. Ansu Fati is too young. Puig looks like a twig. So he just doesn't have enough help in attack ones, because yes, they will still concede goals, but if he had another top attacker, they would very easily outscore the opposition. So
we are not going to win. This is the thing. Like, I mean, isn't there the old saying that, like, you know, it's actually like a good defense actually wins titles, wins trophies. Like, you know, this is almost like going back to how Liverpool were 3 or 4 years ago, when they were scoring so many goals. But how many Champions Leagues and titles were they winning, despite the fact they were scoring 4 + 5 goals on average a game? And then they brought in Van Dijk and Alisson. They shored up their back line, and lo and behold, they've got a Champions League and a Premier League title. So that has to be the basis first. And if they continue to ignore that area because they have sentimentality over PK or Busquets, you know, then even if they bring in a great attacking player, it's going to be irrelevant because they'll concede more goals and they'll drop points. Simple as that.
Okay. Mr. Emmanuel, what is the issue at Barcelona and how can it be solved?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
The main problem is Barcelona's defense is so poor. Like, Barcelona's defense is so poor. Without, like Red Devil said, without Ter Stegen, they would be conceding so many goals. So they actually need to fix that defense. But the board has been spending so much money on all the attacking players like Griezmann, who they didn't need. Griezmann's a very one type of player. He only works in a certain system. I don't know why the board would buy Griezmann. He doesn't fit in any Barcelona system. Dembele is a good player, but he's always injury prone. All that money wasted on all these attacking talents. So then all the attacking player goes through Messi, which is also a problem. But they can worry about Leo. But they need to fix the defense. Another thing they can do is.
So you'd prioritize the defense over the manager and replacing Griezmann?
Yes, no, Setien is a bomb. He's a bomb. I can't lie, he's a bomb. I mean, Valverde wasn't the perfect manager for them, but for this period of time, Valverde was the best manager compared to Setien. Setien, tiki-taka can't exist in 2020. In 2021, tiki-taka doesn't exist. Even Pep Guardiola with Man City, he doesn't play tiki-taka. He plays fast, moving football. Barcelona always play 600, 700 passes a game. They're not really moving anywhere. They have to rely on Messi. And Barcelona don't actually attack through the lines. They don't actually have any person on the last line of attack. Their players always behind the defense. So they can't really, against the big teams, they can't really, hurt them. So that's why they're going to lose this league. And they're not going to do anything in the Champions League. So what Barcelona need to do is actually shore up the defense, get rid of PK, get rid of Alba. These guys are old. Alba doesn't have the legs to go up and down that left wing anymore.
Alba's still doing all right. He's still doing all right.
Nah, they need to get rid of Alba, PK. These guys are good, but not anymore. They need to get rid of all these players. And they need to bring in a whole new defense behind Ter Stegen, then work on the midfield. But then they sold Arthur. So now they sold Arthur and they bring in another 30-year-old. Now that's another 30-year-old on the books. It's the board that the the board and the actual the executives and all, they need to change. But they need to work on the defense mainly.
Okay. Mr. Yasser Said, the Barcelona issue, what's going wrong and how would you personally fix it?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, everyone here knows, basically the biggest problem. I've stated this a lot of times when I talk about Barcelona. I mean, the board has to be on crack. I mean, these guys need to be drug tested. The board is, and then it's like they had a project. Let's do a 5-year project and let's ruin Messi's career. It's like they have a vendetta against this guy, because it just, as I'm not gonna lie to you, I can do a better job. You can do a better job. Anyone in this group chat can do a better job. Everyone in the live chat can do a better job. My mom can do a better job than this Barcelona board. For God's sakes, it just and he is past it. This guy should have been gone a while ago. Virgil van Dijk should be a Barcelona player. Koulibaly should be a Barcelona player. Yet they bought Griezmann.
They were about to get De Ligt, but they messed up.
I mean, okay. What's your okay? We're not gonna buy De Ligt. What is the next plan? Koulibaly's out there. I mean, for God's sakes, all these players are out there. Go buy Upper Meccano's out there. They're not even linked to him, and it's just and they're linked to Martinez, and I'm like, what? Pjanic? What are you doing? They just bought a guy, Pjanic, that let's be honest, with any club that's actually trying to compete for anything, would they want Pjanic? Juventus didn't want Pjanic. That's why they let him go.
No. We'll get to the deal, but just focus on, so what do you think needs to be done to help Barcelona? Do you sell Messi? Do you replace the whole board? Do you get a new defender, a new attacker? What is the thing that this team needs to truly assist them and help them?
I will do a mass overhaul. I will sell a lot of players.
Do you sell Messi?
I won't sell Messi. No, Messi's the best player in the world, and without him, this team, dear Lord, who knows where they'll be right now. Him and Ter Stegen, without them two, my God, is it scary? I'm afraid that Barcelona might actually be the next AC Milan when Messi leaves. This team there's no hope for this team. Because for me, this is what I would do. I will sell players I'll sell Malcolm, I will sell Griezmann, I will sell Dembele, I will sell Piqué, I will sell almost 10 first-team players. I will sell so many players. These players are not either old or they're not good enough. And at least get some value into it and get some decent players. Get De Bruyne from Manchester City. Get players that could have been on. There's players out there that in other clubs that should be playing for Barcelona, and for whatever reason are not playing for Barcelona. Period. He's a Barcelona. When you think about a Barcelona player, he's a Barcelona player. I just don't get it. They just got Pjanic. Now they're going for Martinez and they want to swap with Suarez. I mean, it just focus on a specific area. Focus on the defense. Focus on the midfield, and then the attack will take care of himself. I just don't get it.
Okay. So let's just change it around. So, as well known, tomorrow, Sunday, Pjanic and Arthur are going to have their medicals. So this is a swap deal, and I think 11 million might be put into it. But so Arthur is going to be going to Juventus and Pjanic to Barcelona, and they are both scheduled to have the medicals to complete this transfer on Sunday. And I believe this might be the first COVID transfer ever. So I've already given my thoughts. So this is for you guys to give your thoughts. And my thoughts are, I think it's a deal that makes more sense for Juventus than it does for Barcelona, because I think Arthur can slot into the Jorginho role and maybe fulfill that Jorginho role a lot better than Rabiot can. And for Pjanic, I just don't know how he can help Barcelona. Barcelona, as we've already come and said, is that they either need a really good, strong defender or they need a very strong attacker to help Messi. Pjanic is neither of those. He's like he's a midfielder, DM or sometimes AM, but he's a midfielder. So I don't really know what the thinking was. And from what I've been hearing, is this deal was financially based, and the players apparently or allegedly, reportedly, aren't happy with this deal going through. So I want to come first to LB, man. What is your take on this Pjanic-Arthur swap?
I don't really see the logic behind it from Barcelona's end. If we look at Arthur, someone who's in his early 20s and got his whole sort of career ahead of him, that's what Barcelona sort of needs, sort of some fresh young players in that position in which he plays. As for Pjanic, obviously, quality player, has done very well for Juventus over the last.
But how good is he in 2020, though? That's the thing.
That's the thing, exactly. He's not the same player he was in, let's just say, 2016-17 when they made the final, UCL. And this is going to be somewhat quite similar to, let's just say, the Kevin Prince Boateng transfer or the Griezmann transfer. I can sort of see it going in that direction, purchasing a player in his 30s, hoping to bring some experience, but ending up sort of flopping. So it's going to really suit Juventus, this deal. There's no doubt that they're going to come out as the winners. As for Barcelona, I sort of see this as putting them even further back from where they currently are.
All right, okay. Wilson, what's your thoughts on this swap, Pjanic and Arthur?
I think Juventus got a really good bargain out of it. When you consider the age, Pjanic is 31, and Arthur is like 23 or 23, I believe. I don't know. But I know we all talking about it's a bad deal for Barca. Double H, would you say Pjanic is like a controlling midfielder? Would you describe him as a controlling midfielder, like who holds the ball, who make plays for?
Not necessarily. I mean, he's people are saying he's more like a DM or more of like a holding midfielder, but he isn't really like a possession based, dictates the tempo midfielder. That's not his game.
Because I know we all talk bad about Barca defense, but let's be real. Did Barca really ever have a really good defense? They were just a possession team. That's what made them so elite. We will never say Victor Valdés is one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time. Barca was just a possession team. You had Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi that were really good at holding the ball. I think Barca, their defense is bad. Yeah, Piqué was never a really good defender to me. But Barca problem, all they need is two good midfielders like Xavi and Iniesta and an attacker that can help Messi out. Then that's it. I would think that's all they would need to help the squad out, in my personal opinion. But I don't know if Pjanic is gonna be that guy. That Pjanic is the third one. I didn't understand that deal. Juve got a really good bargain out of it. Hopefully Arthur doesn't flop at Juventus. But yeah, that's my thought on it.
All right. Mr. Emmanuel, Pjanic, Arthur swap, thoughts?
On the Pjanic, really bad deal for Barcelona. They're buying a 31-year-old, replacing it with a 24-year-old. Pjanic doesn't really offer any defensive work, any tackling. He's good at spraying the ball at left, right, but he doesn't actually offer any incisive passing. Juventus are getting rid of a player that really doesn't actually offer them anything. Because tell me, what does Pjanic actually do for Juventus? Apart from, he's just another Jorginho, isn't he? He just passes the ball left, right. He doesn't actually offer anything. He's not athletic. And Barcelona need athleticism in their midfield because they already have.
Pjanic, he used to be good, but just that Pjanic in 2020, I'm not sure of what use he is in 2020 because he can't even start for Juventus. So
yeah, because I'm not sure. I don't think Sarri's going to be manager of Juve next season. I don't think because his style is. What is Sarri ball really? What is it? I haven't seen anything. I think they're going to move Bentancur at the base and put Arthur in that 8 role with Rabiot, or if they buy Pogba, we don't know about that. But Pjanic for Barcelona, if they're going to keep Vidal, or where does De Jong fit? Where does Puig fit? Where does Messi fit? Is Messi going to move back? And are they going to sign another attacking? Pjanic doesn't really actually help them moving forward, to be honest.
Yeah. And okay, so do you think Arthur will be a success at Juventus, or hard to say?
It's hard to say because I don't know who their manager is going to be. I don't think Sarri's going to be their manager next season. But Arthur's qualities, he's good on the ball. He's good. He can receive the ball in a half turn. He's good in that space. He has more. He offers more incisive passing. He's much younger. He's much faster. He's much fitter. So I think it could be a success depending on the manager. If Sarri's the manager next season, it might be more of the same. To be fair, because Sarri's he's not a top quality manager. I think he's like tier 2, tier 3. I don't really think he's
okay.
Juventus level.
Yasir Said, man, talk to me about this Arthur Pjanic swap, man.
All right, HH. So Arthur's age, I think, is 24, right?
23.
23, and Pjanic is 30 years old. I mean, I don't get it. It's if the idea is to get him, so in order for like Barcelona to build a team to help Messi win a Champions League or to win a league, then I can understand that. But the way I look at it is that if anybody makes a transfer, any club, if they make a transfer from any club, especially if it's two big clubs, the way you got to look at it is like, if I buy this player from this club, what is the reaction going to be? Would this player be missed in terms of the fan base, in terms of the club? Would this player be like, man, can't believe, oh my God, he's going to Barcelona. Wow, oh my God, I wish we would have kept him. Or would that be that reaction? Or we'd be like, wow, we actually got rid of him. That's Juventus fans' reaction. It's like, wow, thank God we got rid of Pjanic. That's the reaction. That shows you like Pjanic is not at that level. He was not at the level when he left from Roma to come to Juventus. This guy has completely nosedive. This guy is. When we talk about Juventus and their problems, we talk about Pjanic as one of their problems. So literally, Barcelona is taking Juventus' problems. And my thinking is, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because how does this help Messi win a Champions League? How did this help Barcelona in the long run?
Well, no, I mean, from what I've heard, they said this was financial because it doesn't really make any sense.
That's bullshit. If they want financial help, they should sell Griezmann. Someone will buy Griezmann. I don't know for how much, but Griezmann at least has some value. I mean, marketing value or something. They can sell him for financial. I think there's also something in terms of the Barcelona camp. There must be something going on in terms of like culture. So maybe Arthur is not. I don't know. Maybe he's falling out with Messi, or I don't. It really doesn't. And I just, because I'm looking at it, and then the problem with the thing with Barcelona that I have a biggest problem with is they always look at the past. Oh, the Pep Guardiola days, the Xavi, Iniesta, all that stuff. The guy that was quote unquote supposed to be the next Xavi, it was supposed to be Arthur, and they're selling him. I just don't get it. I really just don't get it. And Juventus are getting a better deal. I actually rate Arthur. I think he's a decent footballer. I think he's only like 23 years old, so he will get better.
So do you believe Arthur will succeed at Juventus?
I think so. I really think so. I like the guy, man. I really do like Arthur. I think he's a quality footballer. Pjanic, I don't know. I don't know. If I was a Barcelona fan, I would literally be in deep depression right now.
That's again, who knows? Pjanic could go to, he could surprise us. Arthur could go to Juventus and fail.
So that's
and be damn good.
The problem I have with that is Barcelona does not get the benefit of doubt. We said that about Griezmann. We said that about Malcolm. We said that about so many players. Be like, oh, he could probably be good. Let's be real. Let's just follow our instinct and our first reaction. This guy was not going to succeed, and that's probably going to be true. Let's not kid ourselves, guys. Let's not. I don't want to go through this whole thing again. I just don't.
Okay. Eye test. This talks to me about the Arthur and Pjanic swap, man. Good, bad. Who benefits? Who doesn't benefit?
So for me, for Juventus, this is a great move. Arthur Melo is like the definition of a sorry player. The way he controls the midfield, his ball retention, like the way he will link up with other players. I think he would be great in a sorry system. And if you look at it, bro, if Juventus just get a striker to link up with Cristiano, because I don't think Ronaldo's working as a striker. He needs to play with a striker. And if they get another midfielder that will get you the assist and goals, because I don't think Arthur's that type of guy. He will control the midfield. If they get a Pogba to play with Arthur, bro, we're talking about Juventus being serious contenders for the Champions League. So for Juventus, I think this is a great move. For Barcelona, a lot of people have already talked about it, so is a poor move. It makes no sense to let Arthur go for an aging player who's just had his worst season in his career. It makes no sense. And bro, I don't understand it from the Barcelona perspective, but for the Juventus perspective, I fully understand it. And if they just get a striker and another midfielder, bro, they're looking serious.
Okay. I think just seeing a story about Espanyol have just fired their coach ahead of their game against Real Madrid tomorrow, which is wild, man. But then watch them take points off Real Madrid. Mr. I am Ham. Thoughts on the swap?
Okay, so you've got Pjanic and Arthur. Okay, as a Liverpool fan, Arthur is good, but when he played against us, I was like, I don't know what he's actually good at. You know, he was losing the ball, getting pressed. But the nice thing about Arthur is that he's a young player, and young players who show a lot of maturity on the ball and off the ball and stuff like that at a young age really deserve a lot of respect. Okay, like Arthur can still do a lot of things in the game. It doesn't matter if you don't see it. If coaches and stuff are picking him, seeing talent in him. I mean, this guy came from Brazil, so you know, if people are taking him to Barcelona, that means this guy is a good player. Now, I feel with
why didn't you think he worked at Barcelona? Why are Barcelona so eager to sell him if he was so good?
It's because he's a Brazilian, but not the Barcelona's type of Brazilian. If Arthur was like a guy from Italy, everyone at Barcelona would be happy. And I'm saying that because I've got this conspiracy theory that everyone in Spain is racist.
Okay.
Arthur is a good player, okay? He just needs time and he just needs to be put in the right place and like right team. And at Barcelona, the problem with a lot of players is that they don't get a lot of chance to express themselves about where they want to play because everything is shaped around one man. Okay? And the problem with that is that to get Messi in the spot Barcelona wants him to be, where he gets like 40, 50 goals a season, is a place where everybody else literally has to do everything for Messi, which is why players like Coutinho couldn't work because Coutinho won't do anything for you in anything but attack.
So tell me, who benefits from this deal? Tell me, who benefits from this swap the most?
Without a doubt, it's Juventus. But I don't think what you guys are saying about Pjanic is true because if you guys remember Pjanic going to Juventus, he was that guy who could score goals from outside the box. He could come in with late runs.
He was good.
He was a brilliant player, and I feel like kind of the same thing at Juventus is what's happening at Barcelona, where the whole entire system is basically grinding to a halt because I feel like when Allegri was in control, he really didn't like change. He just played the one thing he knew. He played one way, and he basically bought a lot of players just to make them do the same thing. So I feel like Pjanic, maybe he's stilled out. He's not like exciting for what they want anymore. Like Bentancur and Chan and all these other players were like younger and stuff like that, so they can run harder and stuff like that. But like if you're talking about technical ability, age doesn't change that.
Just to round off, who wins from this deal? Who do you think will benefit the club the most? Do you think they'll both do well? They'll both flop, or do you think one will
in the first next year and maybe the first 2 years? It's probably gonna be it's probably gonna be Barcelona, in my opinion. I think Barcelona are gonna win for the first 2 years, but in the long run, it's definitely Juventus.
Okay.
Because if they keep Arthur there, that's a legend in the making.
Okay. Jamal, talk to me about this swap.
Yeah. These Barcelona men, man. This Barcelona board is smoking the highest bush in Catalonia, man. I don't understand it. How is these guys not in scholarship, HH? You have to put these guys in scholarship when this deal is confirmed tomorrow. I mean, Arthur is the perfect midfielder for Sarri. If you watch him, he's very similar to Jorginho. So this is a perfect and excellent move for Juventus. Barca, on the other hand, if this was 2015 managed, good deal. 2016, good deal. But 2020, the guy is washed up, man. He's trash. He's gone through. So this is a very, very bad move for Barca. But again, on Juventus, how much midfielders do Sarri need? 10 billion? Like, to me, he swaps. Like, to me, Juventus have the most midfielders in Europe. They have Rabiot, Ramsey, Matuidi. How much midfielders do this guy need? But anyway, man, to me, I find Barcelona getting a horrible deal, Juventus getting a perfect deal. And I feel Arthur Melo could be the signing of the season.
Wow, okay. I'm going to hold you to that. Stodge, talk to me about the swap.
Yeah, this swap, it makes sense to me, and I can see the reason for it. And I don't blame either board, because of the crisis that happens. Teams need to find a way to make more money. And essentially what's happening here is they're trying to use the accounts. They're trying to show that they made a £60 million profit. That's how football works, that they can show a £60 million profit in the exchange for both teams, but they're going to spread out the costs. So essentially they're going to have 60 million to spend this summer. And basically what they've done is they found two players which both clubs don't really like, don't really need that much. And they said, you know what? We're going to use these two to get some money for this summer to buy the better players. I don't rate Arthur, and Pjanic is not the same player he was. As for Arthur, I mean, people are praising him. But, you know, this shows to me the double standard of football. If Arthur was from Bristol, everyone would call him a passion merchant. This guy cannot shoot. He cannot pass. He's pretty much, he goes around in circles. He's not very fast. He's not very strong. He can't really defend. I mean, what is he elite at? I haven't found one aspect of football this guy is elite at. But because he's Brazilian, it's true. It's because he's Brazilian.
Watch Arthur play. Basically, Arthur is like, if you look at this guy, William Carvalho. He's a guy.
No, he's not.
Give him the ball anywhere, he will keep possession and he'll keep the ball rolling. And I think that is always because whenever you have a midfield, you have different role players in the midfield. You have your DM who's there to tackle. You have your attacking midfield who's there to bring the ball up forward.
Okay.
And then you have your guy who is like your metronome. That's why I say like William Carvalho is one of the best at doing this. Where if you're in trouble, it's almost like it's like going back to your hub. Okay, give it back to him. He's going to recycle the ball and just keep the ball rolling and pretty much be the guy that is pretty much psychologically breaking down the opposition by constantly keeping you in possession of the ball.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. I just want to ask
what Sarri wants.
I want to.
That makes sense.
I want to ask you a question. Is he better than Busquets at making the game tick? He's not.
Busquets doesn't make the game tick.
He doesn't make the game tick. Everyone in Barcelona.
That's what Xavi does. That's what Kroos does. Busquets is just the DM who I'm going to break play and I'm going to just give the ball away. He doesn't make the game.
He doesn't make. He makes the game tick. Anyway, this guy Arthur is no good. Pjanic, but if you're going to talk about who wins, the only reason why Juventus win even though, in my opinion, Pjanic is much better than Arthur, is because he's younger, so he has potential. That's the only benefit they're going to get. But I wouldn't be surprised if both of these guys are flops in their new teams, and both teams end up signing better midfielders. So as you know, I think that's what's going to happen, especially for Arthur. I feel like Juventus are going to use this money for a better midfielder, possibly Pogba.
Okay. Red Devil Studio, man. How do you view this swap?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I'm agreeing with Studge again, second time in a row, man. Don't usually agree with Studge, but I actually agree with him. So, like, because it effectively does, from a financial point of view, benefit both those teams. You know, so as I've been reading about the deal, like, essentially what they've done, as Studge has already sort of said and educated everyone, they've spread out. You know, when they've essentially spread out the money amongst several years. So effectively, it works out that Barcelona effectively are making an on-the-books profit of £60 million, which they can then obviously and I think Juventus 57 million. So both of those teams can obviously use that money regarding some transfers. And so
this is just finances. Then it's just financial. Then
that's that for me. That's why I think Studge should have nailed on the point. You know, so it's this idea that these two players are at least in what's deemed by the club surplus to requirements. And they want to reinforce their squads. We said this before when the whole COVID situation was happening, that a lot of teams, a lot of players, really the only team aside from Chelsea and to possibly less extent Inter, we might talk about that later, but Chelsea obviously had reserve from the Hazard deal and various transfer sort of things. Most teams are going to be doing deals, had to do them in different ways, player swap deals, financial movements, etc. So in that sense, given the situation that we're in, this doesn't surprise me. I think if we didn't have the whole COVID situation, you probably wouldn't have seen this. But I think given the circumstances that we're in, it's not surprising. When people were saying Barcelona are going to spend £120 million on the back of their cash pocket on players, while simultaneously giving all their players 70% pay cuts, that doesn't make sense to me at all. If they did that, the Barcelona players would protest and rage because they had to take 70% pay cuts to fund this deal. So for me, so I know it's not the talk about the footballing aspect, but football, it's finance, it's a finance business. It's run by it's money based, and teams have lost money. So from a totally finance point of view, it makes sense. From a footballing point of view, I think it's just a question of seeing what happens. I don't think it's the area that Barcelona need to strengthen. There are other more important areas that need to strengthen. But if getting that 60 million means that they can then use that to then go and strengthen, then can you really blame them? Simple as that.
So do you think it's the deal benefits both teams, benefits one team? Who benefits? Who doesn't benefit? Will they flop? How do you see it panning out?
So in what sense? What, from a financial or just a purely footballing point of view?
A footballing sense.
A footballing sense. Well, like I said, if they use the money to buy good players in those particular positions, then it definitely benefits both teams. But if it's specifically at Pjanic and Arthur, I don't think Pjanic is as bad as people are making him out to be. So and he could certainly fit into the Barcelona system.
Well, I mean, but he's not as good as he once was, and he can't even make the starting lineup for Juventus.
I don't.
Barcelona are essentially buying a bench player for Juve.
I agree. I have to agree with you. And like I said, I'm of the opinion that Barcelona need to strengthen other areas anyway. So, and as I've said before, I think the main reason why they got this deal was purely financial in the first place. I don't know. I think that there could be a lot worse. Let's put it that way. I'll leave it at that, because even though he couldn't get into the, I mean, how good is Barcelona's midfield really though, right now?
Juventus' midfield is better.
So, yeah. So we're almost talking about Barcelona's midfield is somehow leaps and bounds of the Juventus midfield. So I don't know. I think an extra pair of hands. I think Pjanic could do well in this midfield. That's my 2 cents anyway. So yeah.
Okay. So before we move on, let me just hit this. So from Los Colchoneros, thank you for the super chats, big man. Says, so Koke gets penalized even though the ball hits the upper part of his shoulder, but VAR does nothing when the ball hits Benzema's biceps. Madrid is real. You see, look, see, the thing about this is that people are still believing that the referees are for Barcelona and they're going to pretty much win it because of the referees. The thing here is, now I didn't see the Atletico incident, which I think the match is happening now, but I watched the Real Madrid game, and that ball hit his shoulder, and the shoulder does not count as being part of your arm. That's ball, and he even pointed to where it's hit him. So I think people are clutching at straws, saying that the referees are for Real Madrid and they're trying to make Real Madrid win and screw people over. But one thing is interesting though is I think they say like 90% of the referees are Real Madrid fans, which is quite worrying. But it is what it is. But no, I think Benzema was fine. Man, people are just reading too much into that stuff. So
Michael Oliver was a Real Madrid fan.
Oh, was he?
I think he was exposed on social media by going to Madrid, and I think someone may have seen him wearing a Madrid shirt. So shortly after the Juventus Madrid game, which was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about Igwe. I want to talk about Ighalo. Now.
Oh yes.
Let me just Red Devil relax, chill, relax. Just take a chill pill, relax. Just chill. You're still in fifth. Now, let me start by saying this. Me and Ighalo have had a very tumultuous relationship. You know, I said things that I still stand by after World Cup 2018, where he could have helped Nigeria knock out Messi and Argentina from the group stages, which have been amazing for my agenda, my narrative, and Nigeria to qualify for that World Cup group. I insulted him, I abused him, and I just it was dark. You know, it was you know, I mean, look, man, it was horrible, man. You know, people may almost seem as if I was calling him like a white devil or something. But we moved on, and let's just keep it real. When he was bought by United, everybody ridiculed him. Everybody laughed. People laughed at Ole. People laughed at United. Said, "Wow, look at United! You're buying a Watford reject. You're buying a guy who flopped at the World Cup. You're applying. It's a sideshow roadman, unranked striker." But he has been quite the success. He has not only scored goals, he has scored important goals, and he's already scored a goal that has to be considered as one as the candidates for goal of the season. So the deal is, come January, he returns back to China. So my question is this: based on what Ighalo has done, the amounts of people that he has surprised and he has shocked and so forth, should United really just take a time to say, you know what? Why don't we sign Ighalo fully? Because Martial is a great striker. He's younger. He's got a higher potential, and he's better than Ighalo in almost every way. But Ighalo does offer something different, because I think it is very important to have a striker who can play with his back to goal. That is a very important aspect for a striker, which is why I always say Mario Gomez may not have looked the most aesthetically pleasing on the ball, but he was very effective because he knew how to play with his back to goal, which is great if you're playing against a deep block or men behind the ball, because that's great space. So let me confess to LB: should Manchester United sign Ighalo on a permanent deal, or should they just say goodbye to him when January comes?
I think they should, in my opinion, certainly sign him. I mean, his record of scoring goals in every game for United is something that should be taken into really strong consideration. And like you were saying, HH, sort of having that backup as Martial, or whether he starts and then Ighalo comes off the bench. I think it's important to have that backup. These days it's so easy for players just to sort of jump ship and go to China. And once that sort of happens, it's really hard to sort of go back to those big European clubs. So I think it's definitely worth keeping him for at least another couple of seasons, seeing how he goes at his maturing age, 30, 31, I think. and then sort of deciding whether or not they should perhaps sell him, because it's hard to, as I said before, to bring players back from those Chinese leagues or even those leagues in America. So he's definitely worth keeping.
Okay. So Vilton, what about you? I can see a lot of anti-Nigerian hate in the live chats, man. You guys are a bunch of pricks. So Vilton, what about you? Do you feel that Ighalo should be signed fully by United, or you think a loan deal is enough?
Nah, he should be fully signed by Manchester United. It'd be good for them to have depth when Martial's not playing good. You could put Ighalo in. Because Ighalo, yeah, he doesn't have the dribbling as Rashford and Martial can give you, but he kind of reminds me of like Ibrahimovic a little bit, like because he plays more of a target man. If you can just cross the ball to him, he might score. But I would keep him. Like, he's not a bad player. He's a good player to have. Just in case Martial is injured, you could rotate your squad and have him. He's not a bad player. Yeah, he choked in 2018 for Nigeria, but nah, keep the guy. He's not a bad player, man.
Okay. Emmanuel Rodenman. Mr. Ighalo, should Ighalo be signed permanently by United? Okay. Sorry. What am I doing? Sorry, let me bring your boy I am Ham. Should United sign Ighalo fully?
Okay, Ighalo. Look, I like Ighalo. Before he came to United, I was hating on him, laughing at United, but I think he's really proved a lot of people wrong. And once you look at his highlights from Watford, you can actually see that this guy was really a dangerous player. But I feel like if you're United, you're looking at City and Liverpool, I don't think you can say, Ighalo, you can do a job for me. Even Martial, I think if you're United, you look at both those players, I'm like, I want what both of you guys do in one person. Spend the 100 mil for the legendary Super Saiyan Erling Haaland.
Whoa. So you're saying that they should get rid of Ighalo and instead try to get Erling Haaland?
Yep.
Okay.
Erling Haaland will do the job. Martial's a good player, but I feel like he's not a striker, he's an inside forward. If I'm Martial or if I'm Man United, I'm like, PSG, do you guys want this player? Or Juventus or even Real Madrid or Barcelona, because he's a good player, but what can Man United even do with this guy? They've got Bruno and Pogba in midfield, which means they're going to be attacking from midfield. So what's the point of having two inside forwards in Martial and Rashford and a striker?
Okay. Stodge, should United sign Ighalo permanently?
It all depends on how much money Manchester United have. There's a few factors that go into this. I heard that the club is demanding 20 million. You also have to consider that he's 31 years old. And I'm thinking, is he a priority for Manchester United? I'm looking at their starting 11 and I'm seeing two big weaknesses, right wing and centre back. So I'm saying, why not spend? Because they want to sign Sancho. That's going to cost them 100 million plus, money that they need. And they also need a centre back, in my opinion. Lindelof is not good enough. Bailly is unreliable. So why don't you make your starting 11 strong, and later on in further seasons focus on the bench after that? Because a bench player, as good as Ighalo has been, you can always find these useful players that will come in, they'll contribute, they'll be a great sub. But are you going to have another opportunity to get Sancho, to get a good centre back, and maybe Upamecano? So I think their focus this season should be to close the gap and focus on their starting 11.
Okay. So your final decision is to keep him or to let him go?
If you haven't got, I'd say let him go. Fix the starting 11.
Okay. Yasir Saeed.
Yeah, I don't know. This one like really tears me apart because if I'm speaking emotionally, I'd be like, you know what, to sign this guy. I love this guy. I love Ighalo. He's I don't think there's a Man United fan out there that does not like Ighalo. Ighalo is I don't he became like an instant hero. Like he's and I love Ighalo, but if I'm thinking about this rationally, and if I'm think about it as like the best for Man United, Starch is right. We need to United because especially when I was watching today's game, United need to get rid of certain. We need to get rid of a lot of players, and we also need to get rid of players that that are fan favorites. Igalu. Maybe like if I'm not saying get rid of Igalu. I mean I'm just saying let's wait till next season. Let's see how what we bring in. Because like we just can't. There are certain players we just can't keep. We can't keep Lingard. Like he came from the academy. I mean, he's a lot of people like him. Kids look up to him. But we need to sell Lingard. We need to sell Mata. I love Mata. Mata has been one of my favorite players in terms of football. I love Mata, but we need to get rid of him. There's certain players that we just. I'm sorry, but United have to be ruthless because Liverpool just won the title. Let me repeat that. Liverpool just won the title. We can't let that happen. Liverpool has won 19 league titles. One Premier League title, by the way, but they've won 19. United has won 20. So there's a huge fear, especially for me and a lot of United fans, that Liverpool might overtake United as the biggest club in England. And we cannot let that happen.
So okay. So to ensure that doesn't happen, do you think that Ighalo will help to strengthen United to win the title next season, or you think that you can maybe do better than him and he should be let go?
Okay, Ighalo might help us. I mean, I'm not because the thing is, damn, I'm glad I'm not a United board because this is a tough decision. Like, if there's better, I will get better. But I mean, just to comment on those who saying Martial is not a striker. Martial is our striker. We will not get a number 9 other than Martial. Martial will always start as our number 9. Just leave it as that. There's no point in talking about it. Martial is our striker. He's our number 9. We gave him our number 9. We trust him. We believe on him. We have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was a striker that can pretty much show him the ropes. Martial is our number 9. So for those of you saying that we need a number 9, we do not need a number 9. Okay, Martial is our striker.
So do you keep Ighalo or do you let him go?
I keep him and let him go on January. Get a replacement for him during January.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Mastero Kid, is your mic working there, bro?
Yeah, HH.
Okay, so do you think United should keep Ighalo, or do you think that they can do better and they should let him go in January?
All right, HH. On the books right now, you have Rashford, Martial, OSC can play number 9. So my thing is that since the guy is doing good for you at this very moment, why change it? There's a stat today that when he has scored 4 goals in 5 starts. So that's a very good return. But if you're looking at it on the long term, he's about 31 going 32. You're going to need a young blood to back up Martial or promising young kid from academy like Greenwood. You see a Greenwood there. So it's up to Oli and whoever or whatever to make decision. Personally, I would keep him.
Okay.
Personally.
Why? Okay. Why would you keep him?
Well, he in some case he hasn't failed us as yet. But in my personal, I would keep him. If I was Ali, I would keep him.
Yeah, we need the Nigerian support. You know what I'm saying? We need the whole country on our side. The whole country, Nigeria. We don't want them on our side.
No. I say like I am keeping for my guy, man. Like putting the country proud. Jamal, what do you think United should do? Do you think that they should keep him or let him go?
All right, I'm gonna give 2 scenarios here. First, I'm gonna be the positive Jamal. You should keep him because he's a good plan B and he could offer something different from Martial and Rashford. So he will be a useful plan B to have. Alright, this is the footballing truth, Jamal. Liverpool just now won 19 league titles. If you keep Ighalo, it will be 20, 21, 22. Ighalo is from the road. Ighalo is from the street. If you peep out your window, you will see Ighalo. If you want to be competing with Liverpool and Manchester City, you cannot have players like Ighalo. Sorry, Ighalo is trash if you want to be competing with the elite of the elite. So take of that what you will. You could listen to Positive Jamal.
So you don't think Ighalo can raise his game to be elite for United? You say like he's from the road.
Yes, he's from the road. He's 31. He's from the streets. He's trash. I'm sorry. Ighalo is a top 11 go down striker, 11 championship striker. He's not an elite.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Wait, let's let Jamal round off. Round off.
Yeah. All I just want to say is, guys, if you want Liverpool to win 19, 21, 22, 23, keep him. If you want to be serious, pull up all your big buck. If you want to be serious and pull up your big boy pants, sell the guy. He's from the road and buy a good new striker.
Okay, so someone wanted to say something?
Yeah, if memory serves right, when Barcelona bought Henrik Larsson from Celtic, he was up in his 30s. He was about 33, 32. And at that moment, some persons didn't think Henrik Larsson was Barcelona quality at that point. Even he did have a very good career at Celtic.
No. But let's be real. And look, I love Ighalo. I've got to rep on Nigerian guys, but you're talking about a dude who I believe was one of the best players at a World Cup. So
that is true. That is true.
So yeah, so my thing is that you can say that he's not quality, but I think comparing Larsson at any age to Ighalo is difficult because like Larsson is international quality. He was an extremely good striker. Celtic or no Celtic, even before Celtic, he was already a very good striker. So I think that's actually a difficult one.
Can I say something real quickly?
All right, go for it quickly.
Because I feel like the notion is that people believe that Ighalo is gonna start and all this and all that, and if we need to catch up to Man City or Liverpool, that we need to get better than Ighalo. Ighalo will never be our starting 11. He will never start for us. He will come off the bench. And let's be real, Mane, Salah, Firmino, Liverpool really don't have anyone coming from the bench that can replace those three.
Yeah,
so
but see,
come on.
No, but the difference is Salah, Mane, and Firmino are not injury prone. So Rashford and Martial are very injury prone. So you guys could end up playing Ighalo for 6, 7, 8 games in a row. So
you can predict injuries though. Like you're just yes, they're young players. These guys, Salah, Firmino, and Mane are all like 28 years old. Rashford's only 22 years old. Martial's 24 years old. Yeah, who could? How can you predict that they're gonna get injured next year? Like that's you can't just call them injury prone. They're literally they're young players. Just because they played a lot of football at a young age, that doesn't mean their career is over and something like that. Like these guys have so many years to play for.
Let's just bring in some other guys. So I test. How do you view this as a United fan? And do you think to keep Igwe, Ighalo, or?
Listen, for me, if any United fan says we should get rid of Ighalo, you're smoking crack. Did you watch today's game? Today proved me right. We have a lot of overrated bums in our team, and Odin Ighalo showed up today. Yeah, like we played poor today. That lot of people once said he was the best young right back in the world. Fred, better than N'Golo Kante. Ighalo showed up. He's the best backup player we have. And if you think about it, I can't think of a single backup striker in the world that's better than Odin Ighalo. I can't think of any. He's a great backup striker. He can hold up the play. He can finish. Like, bro, the only reason why I would probably say don't sign him on a permanent is because he's on high wages. I think he's over 200k a week for a backup striker. That's a lot of money.
So if he was happy to cut his wages, would he say sign him?
Therefore, because I can't think of many backup strikers in the world that's better than him. And if we don't sign him,
people are saying that it's Norwich, man. I shouldn't be hype about Norwich.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was disgusted by today's performance. Like today, like it just proved me right. We have a load of bums in our team. Like we need to get rid of a lot of these players. And to think and to say get rid of Ighalo when we have all of these players in our team, he's the last player we should get rid of. Like, no, I would keep Ighalo. He's a great backup striker to Anthony Martial, and he will teach young players like Mason Greenwood how to hold up the play, because that's one thing he needs to improve in. They're two different types of players, so Ighalo will teach him what he knows. He will develop the young striker, so I would keep him.
Red Devil, what's to do with Igwe, Ighalo, man? Keep him, let him go and try and find another striker.
I think the first thing, to be honest, just to apply some context to this whole thing, is that obviously, like all these transfer solutions, is obviously the COVID sort of situation that has obviously thrown a lot of things in whack. So obviously, the original intention would have been for Ighalo to obviously to finish the season with Manchester United. Now, the big thing with this whole COVID situation is that obviously the season's been delayed, but you also have to take into account the Europa League as well. And so, you know, Chinese team that Ighalo came from, like, you know, we were negotiating with them to try and have some sort. I think they basically wanted us to sign him outright completely, and also pay like his sort of high wages. And United refused because we obviously wanted to see more of him, and they refused the option to buy. But at the same time, it would have left United quite short, because then we don't have a guy who goes back to China or doesn't play for United, and we suddenly have the rest of the season and also the Europa League and potentially, you know, the beginning of the next part of next season, because there's still uncertainty about the opening of the transfer window at the time. So I guess what I'm saying is, from that point of view, I can understand why United decided to sign him or extend until January, because from their point of view, signing here means that we don't have to look for another striker, another forward, given the uncertain circumstances. We have him till the season. We have him for the Europa League. We can do good runs in that to potentially, you know, get into the Champions League. And obviously, we have him start next season. The other factor that I don't think anyone's mentioned is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer really wants to see Mason Greenwood develop. And I think a lot of the team in the academy want to see how Mason Greenwood...
So you're saying, wait, so develop as a striker or just develop?
Develop as a striker, yes. Yeah. Oh. I think that there's room on that Mason... So from what I understand, I mean, I'm not, I guess from a fan point of view, but just trying to understand it from maybe the Manchester United boardroom youth logic point of view, I think is that Mason Greenwood is going to get a lot more game time from now till basically January. So I think with the aim or hope is that Mason Greenwood basically becomes, so when Ighalo leaves, Mason Greenwood sort of steps into that position. I don't think, even though I actually think that I like Ighalo in the sense that he gives us something a lot different, in that, like, I think he's much more of a traditional number 9, and that, like, he backs into defenders. The amount of times today where, like, he would back into defenders, turn the defenders to move. Rashford, Martial, and at times even Greenwood don't do that because they don't have the physicality and the
and also that move led to the sending off.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know what the Norwich player was doing though. Like, he literally bear hugged Ighalo. Like, you know, it took him down. It was strange, you know, because fair play to Norwich. I'll say this right now, because I agree for once of my test that performance was trash, and there are a lot of players that need to leave that club that aren't actually Odin Ighalo. They need to take a hard look at themselves. And Lingard and Mata and Dalot are probably my top 3. Though I would disagree. I would say that Fred had a better game than McTominay. I think McTominay wasn't particularly great. But yeah, like, I guess the way I sort of see it from my point of view is that, like, I don't see Manchester United signing Ighalo from after January, because if they did, then they would have negotiated with Shanyo Shenghua an option to buy on top of that, because that's what they want, but they haven't done that. So I think from United's point of view, they want they want to keep Ighalo as a good backup option so they can allow Mason Greenwood to continue to develop and basically take over that striker role, from him, while they prioritize other areas like the right wing role, possibly centre back and CDM. I don't think that, now that obviously Haaland has gone to Dortmund, I don't know whether or not we're really in for Timo Werner.
Do you believe down the line United can maybe get Haaland, or you think that ship has passed?
Maybe down the line, possibly. But I don't know. I just think that like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as long as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the club, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will always have a bias towards British and academy-based players. Especially with the way that Mason Greenwood started to come through, like from my perspective, he'll say, well, we've got Mason, so we're going to sort of push him. So unless like it's specifically a key area, and even Sancho is British, we're effectively becoming Brexit FC in a sense, plus or minus Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. So I don't know. I just think that if Greenwood develops, it will allow United to focus on other areas, and I think that's what Ollie and the board will focus on, rather than going out for another out-and-out striker. Whether that means that we'll be able to challenge Liverpool next season remains to be seen. Although, I mean, Jamar, maybe you could answer this, but do you think that Liverpool actually going to sign anyone in the summer? Because the impression I get is that they don't look like they're going to be getting new additions to their squad.
I'm hearing that we're going to buy a left back and a support striker. But that's it. But on a low budget, nothing more than 40 million.
So they'd essentially be backups effectively.
Yeah, backups. No real big transfers. Just backups.
Just backups. Okay.
And yeah, nothing more than 40 million. 40 and less.
Fair enough.
Okay. No. I mean, basically, look, as I said again, for me, being totally objective, I just think it would be wise for United to have Ighalo there as a plan B. Martial is your first choice striker. That should be your first choice. But again, depending on the game, depending on maybe Martial's fitness, and depending on a substitution or something, because Ighalo is totally different from Martial, it's a good thing to have in your pocket tactically. Tactically, it's a good thing to have in your pocket. I just think it would be wise to have that, because the key thing about it is that he is somebody who would very happily want to play the bench role. So if you could actually have that, he'd be like, no, because look, he's a huge fan. He's a massive fan. And people in Nigeria, I told you, United is the most supported club in Nigeria. So it is a big deal for him to be in there, man. So I think if you have that, I think it will be great. So look, man, let's move on now. And I think this was big news. This was big news. Actually, before we come in, let's see what our friend here says. Nippon.
Yes, have hope.
Yes, Nippon, is the mic working? Is the mic working?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. What's up?
Yeah, I'm alive. Let me just ask a few questions. First of all, what do you think is wrong with Barcelona, and how do you think that they can fix it? With regards to the issues at Barcelona, how do you think it can be fixed?
Well, it's quite simple. Barcelona fell apart the moment Iniesta and Xavi left. Hello?
Yes, no. Carry on.
So yeah, that's the whole thing. Barcelona started to go downhill the moment Iniesta and Xavi left the club. That was the core of their midfield.
So how do you think that they can then return to the top? How do you think they can be helped? What can they do to become the real Barcelona again? Should they sell Messi? Should they rebuild? Or what should they be doing?
You see, I think Messi won't go, even if they wanted to sell him. I mean, he is. This will sound like a stupid. It might sound stupid putting these two footballers in one sentence, but Messi is to Barcelona what Mark Noble is to West Ham.
What? Excuse me? What?
I see.
You don't get it, do you?
No, I get it. I get it.
I mean, look, I see where you're coming from, but Mark Noble and Messi should never be mentioned in the same sentence.
I never. You didn't get. You didn't get. I never compared their abilities.
I know where you're coming from in terms of what they have done for the club and what they mean for the club and their commitments to the club and how the club sees them.
In terms of one club men, that's what I mean. I never said that they were as. I'm not insane. I'm not insane. I haven't lost my head. Don't worry. Of course.
Are you sure you're not insane?
Of course, I'm not insane.
Okay, I mean, whatever you say, man. But I'm just saying, I mean.
I never said that they were. I never said that they were as good as each other. I never said that.
Okay. All right.
I just said about the one. It's just like the look. Even if Barcelona tried to sell Messi, he wouldn't go. And in my opinion, Messi is what's keeping Barcelona relevant.
So how would you help Barcelona then, man? Like,
trust the youth. Trust the youth.
So Puig,
rather than signing old players who ask for high wages.
So you're saying Puig is the answer. Puig is the answer for Barcelona. Puig,
Fati, Alenia. Trust the youth. Ajax did it. Even Pep's Barcelona. Most of their students were from La Masia. Pedro, Xavi, Busquets, Iniesta.
But then Nippon, you need a coach though. I think this is the thing. I think I agree with you, but I think that you also need a coach. That's why maybe like a Pochettino comes in, someone who can actually develop you, grow.
Pochettino will never coach Barcelona.
I know. Yeah, no. But he said. I'm just saying. I mentioned him just because like you need a coach who can actually do that, who can actually develop and work with youth. I don't know whether Barcelona at this moment in time can get a manager.
They can get
Den Haag. Den Haag.
Okay.
Eric Den Haag.
Wait. Okay, so we nip on real quick because we need to move to the last thing. So, lastly, Ighalo, should United keep Ighalo or should they let him go in January?
Seriously,
you have to answer, man.
Well,
you have
who
to
else do they really have, though?
You have to. What should they do, man? I need the right answer. I need the right answer. The pressure is on. The pressure is on.
Personally, they should keep him because they only have Greenwood as backup to Martial.
Okay. All right. So let's just switch things around this key. So for our final log topic,
I want to ask you, H, before we move on, just very quickly. Did you hear about Robben?
He's back.
Okay.
Robben.
Okay, let's just address this right now. So look, okay. So someone tweeted me or someone linked me to Robben. I was like, Robben is coming out of retirement. All right, Robben is now coming back to win the World Cup. So he's coming back to right that wrong that happened in 2010.
That's what you said a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So, but what's happening is that he is returning back to, which is what a lot of players do. He's returning back to his boyhood club, FC Groningen. So he puts up like a post on his Instagram. It's all around Twitter and so forth. And here's my thing, Robben is that dude, and I think that he definitely wants 100%. He wants to prove something before he leaves. Let me just say this: if he can somehow win the Eredivisie for FC Groningen and qualify them for the Champions League, I might have to reconsider him for a horseman. That's what I'm saying. Moving on very swiftly. Hakimi to Milan. So it's confirmed. Well, it's almost near to be confirmed, and it's about to happen. I didn't see this coming. I don't understand this. I don't get this, and this is crazy. This is a coup. This is a major coup for Antonio Conte because Hakimi is a right back that I rate very highly. For me, if I was to choose a right back and a left back for my team, it would be Marcelo on the left, Hakimi on the right. As for right now, for me, those are my two favorites, left and right backs to watch, because those guys are just footballing talents. So let's come to LB, man. This move, do you think so? First of all, good move for Inter Milan. Do you think he will succeed at Inter Milan? And do you think that Real Madrid are making a big mistake allowing him to join Inter Milan?
I think he is definitely going to be someone who Real Madrid will benefit from, and for someone who can, as you said, work in conjunction with Marcelo, one of the best, if not the best, left back in the world. I reckon they should do their very best to not let it happen, to not let Hakimi go to Inter Milan. But as for the move itself to Inter Milan, to be honest, I don't really know how well he'll go to at Inter Milan. Just trying to think of their defense. Godin is obviously, a very good player as well, and whether those two will sort of do well with each other. But I certainly think that Real Madrid should do a little bit more to stop Hakimi going to Inter Milan, because I think he'll do well at Real Madrid. As for Inter, I'm not too sure, to be honest.
So do you see him succeeding in Inter Milan's more pragmatic system as opposed to a more attacking fluid system like Dortmund?
Look, I think he can adapt. He's just going to have to give himself a bit of time to gel and to get used to the new players, the new league, the new style of play itself. So I think he can, but he's just going to have to be a little bit patient. Inter Milan supporters, Inter Milan, the club itself, are going to have to give him some time to get used to the new style of play. But I think he can make it happen, yeah.
Wilton.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. Hakimi to Inter Milan, man. Thoughts?
I'm a Real Madrid fan. Yeah, he was the future right back for us, but at the same time, we still have Carvajal. He's only 28. So it's a bad deal for us, but come on, Hakimi, there's no way that guy would want to sit on the bench for Carvajal. That guy wants to play. Yeah, Hakimi is probably the best, maybe top 3 right back in the world right now. You could even has the number one best right back in the world right now. But
wouldn't it be wise to have him as an understudy to Carvajal? So when Carvajal retires, you have him in.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't think he wants to say, though. I don't think he wanted to be on the bench for Carvajal. But my only thing with Hakimi, he's really good at attacking, but defensively, he kind of lacks out a little bit. But overall, yeah, it's a really good deal for Inter because they need defenders, and they're really getting a really good right back. But it's Real Madrid. Eventually, maybe we might buy him back in the future because it's Real Madrid. Who doesn't want to come to Real Madrid, man? Like, it's freaking Real Madrid. Like, I want to play for Real Madrid. But overall, I think it's a good deal for Hakimi. Maybe over Inter, he might work on his defending a little bit because Antonio Conte is a really defending kind of coach in a way. Because he's really good going forward, but defending-wise, that's my problem with him. Because at the end of the day, you're a defender. You got to be good at both. That's my opinion on it.
This is weird. There's a Mastero Kid. Thoughts on his Hakimi to Inter Milan?
As you said, HH, this is a coup. I think Conte has done his homework on Hakimi. Cause remember they played against Dortmund 2 times, lost in the group stage in Champions League. So Conte must have looked at this player and done his homework and said, okay, he's good going forward. Maybe defense can't tackle, whatever it may be. And I think going in the Italian league with the team that Inters have, with the defenders, I think he might learn 1 or 2 things. But I think in the long run, it's going to benefit Inter. It's going to benefit Hakimi because he's going to sort at that right wing back right away. Because Moses, I don't know what that guy's, whatever he is.
Easy.
But I think this kind of hurt Real Madrid in a way that like Carvalho is still living off that 3-peat. like I can't understand Real Madrid selling him. I just can't. But I think it's a good buy for Inter. In short term, at this very moment, I need long term.
Okay. Yes, Saeed, man. Hakimi to Inter, man. Give me your thoughts.
The more I think about it, the more I listen to the Hangout, the more that I think it's apparent that a lot of these clubs doesn't have the funds, and and a lot of these clubs have to pretty much make decisions that for us fans it doesn't make any sense, and I think this is one of them in terms of Real Madrid. Hakimi is 21 years old. He's a phenomenal right back, and he's one of the best in the world. It doesn't make sense for Real Madrid to let a player like that like him go. But then again, if like I mean, similar to what the Pjanic and Arthur deal, if these clubs can get the funds in, and they recoup those funds, then hopefully they can it will help the club financially. So I just think this might have been just a financial thing because this doesn't make any sense in terms of football. In terms of football, it doesn't make any sense because
Okay. So you don't see Hakimi fitting in at Inter Milan?
He's a phenomenal player. He will fit in anywhere. Hakimi will fit in anywhere. That's what great players do. And I think he will fit in perfectly in Inter. Who's in right back for now for Inter? Is it who plays Ashley Young plays left back, right? I don't know who plays right back for them, but yeah, I don't know, but yeah, you'd be fantastic for them, and he will fit perfectly, in my opinion, with Conte's system. He's gonna get a lot of goals. He's gonna thrive. Yeah.
Okay. Eye test.
For me, I think this is a great move for Inter Milan. Right now, I'm remembering what Antonio Conte, when he was at Chelsea, what he did with Marcus Alonso and Victor Moses. Who were average players at best, average players. But in that season where you lot won the league, yeah, he made them look like world beaters. They were probably one of the best players in their positions at the time. And now to have Hakimi, who's actually quality, unlike Alonso and Moses. He's actually a proper wing back. And I think under Conte, bro, he's gonna level up. And I think his partnership with Lukaku, I think he will have a great partnership with Romelu Lukaku. And bro, I'm looking at Inter right now with Hakimi. I'm telling you right now, Inter Milan are winning the title next season. They're dethroning Juventus once and for all.
I test.
Easy.
I test. I don't think you got the memo. Juventus are going for 10.
No, I'm telling you,
going for 10 in a row.
Juventus, I see a load of old men, like they're aging. But Inter Milan, Antonio Conte, bro, Antonio Conte is a better manager than Sarri. And with these players, I see Conte doing big things next season. Big things. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they do big things in the Champions League next season as well. I'm telling you, Champions League, I see Conte doing big things in that as well.
I think you're smoking. I think you're smoking. You're smoking.
Bro, you don't know Conte. You don't know
Lay off
Conte
the weed. Lay off the weed. Inter are not
Conte
winning
is
the
a big
Champions
manager.
League, man.
Conte is a big manager. He can do this. I'm telling you.
Okay. Stodge, man. Hakimi to Inter, man. Thoughts?
Yeah, to me, it's another deal that makes sense. I still think Carvajal is better than Hakimi. Real Madrid had 2 years to look at him. They had before that, and it's obvious they don't really rate him. I mean, what is they complaining about? I mean, they put him on loan for 2 years, They looked at him and they said he's surplus to requirements, and you're trying to tell us he's the best right back in the world.
Yeah,
give it a
look at
rest.
it.
It doesn't make sense. It's like a contradiction. But anyway, as for he's Inter Milan, I think he could be a success. So I'm gonna give a percentage. So I'm gonna say 60% success, and I can see him 40% being underwhelming. And I'll give you two reasons for this. First reason, he's from the Bundesliga. The last few years, something I've realized about the Bundesliga is any player's stats from the Bundesliga, 3/4, whatever the amount of goals or assists they got, count it as 3/4. Because the rest, when they go to other leagues, their statistics, it just drops. It drops dramatically. And the second thing I'm scared of is he's going from the most expansive football in the Bundesliga to the home of defending. I mean, the amount of defenders that go to the Serie A and they realize that they don't really know that much about defending. He's no longer coming up against teams where he's just got acres of space and he could just run into and score a goal. No, he's coming up against organized, tactically astute teams that know how to defend. So obviously that's going to be something that he's going to have to get used to. And obviously the fans are also going to have to be patient. But he's a brilliant player. And like you guys said, Conte somehow turned Alonso into an animal. I mean, this guy was scoring free kicks, long shots, headers. I don't know what type of drugs he was giving him, because I've never seen that player ever since. So because of Conte, I could see a success. But I also wouldn't be that shocked if he was underwhelming, because of the Bundesliga, the inflation of goals, and the different styles when it comes to the two different leagues. As for Real Madrid, this is a good deal. Carvajal's only 28. As for an understudy, they've got, in my opinion, so till Carvajal's 32, so they've got 4 other years to find another good right back. So they've got time to find a right back. Yeah, why get rid of Carvajal when he's won 3 Champions Leagues, delivered, he's better defensively, and he's played in harder leagues.
He's slowly on the decline, though. He's slowly declining. And
He's only 28, HH. He's only 28.
But no, because I think he had I don't know what it was, but he had a serious operation.
Achilles.
And surgery.
No, but he's performed well this season, so.
Okay, I mean, no, but look, I mean, it's just that, you don't want to be caught in a situation where, like, your top player maybe gets another major injury, starts to go down, and you don't have someone to replace him. It's a very bad place to catch yourself. But Real Madrid is a risk that they want to take. Jamal, thoughts on this?
I 100% agree with Stutch. Real Madrid just don't rate him. They had 2 years to watch at him at Dortmund. And then when he's coming back, Zidane say, nah, you're not Real Madrid quality. I'm sorry. How this could be the best right back in the world? Real Madrid do not sell stars. Real Madrid don't. They sell him because they say he's not good enough. And even if they sell him, who's coming in for him? Juventus right now need a right back. Bayern Munich need a right back. He's gone to Inter Milan. Sorry, Inter Milan is a tier 3 club right now. Inter Milan are trash. So is this guy supposed to be the best right back? Come on, man. Don't put these bums with Trent. Trent is way better than this idiot. Don't put this bum with Trent. No. Guys, if Zidane is a horseman. Zidane don't rate him. Real Madrid never sell stars. Don't get it twisted.
Zidane doesn't rate Gareth Bale, though, and he scored like a bicycle kick in the Champions League finals. So
yeah, but Zidane is Bale is on the decline. Bale is titty. This guy conceded 4 goals today. Asensio, he got lubricated in his crib. Come on, guys. This guy is way overhyped, and he's not even close to the best right back.
So what about Nacho? So is Nacho Real Madrid quality? So Nacho is more Real Madrid quality over Hakimi? Is that what we're saying?
How much games has Nacho started this season? Not much. All I'm just saying is Hakimi is a good player, but just don't put him with the best right back in the world, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Thank you very much.
The guy's a cross merchant, man. I don't know what you Liverpool fans say. He's a cross merchant and a free kick merchant. He's not the best right back.
Generational talent. Yes, he is.
Look, keep drinking the look, Jamal. When you win multiple Premier League titles, come and talk to Chelsea. Okay, when you win a Europa League, come and talk to Chelsea. Numerous Europa League titles.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Put some respect on Trent. That's all.
Red Devil Studio, man. Hakimi to Inter. How do you view it?
I mean, the first thing I would say is like how, like I was even like Inter Milan, like if they're Inter Milan in the chat, like let me know like how are Inter Milan doing all these deals? Like I feel like over the last year and a bit, they've signed almost an entire squad of players.
Mosab, if live in the live chats, Mosab, how have Inter done these deals? Is it legal or illegal? Mosab, please tell us.
They've taken three. I mean, we obviously, as a United fan, we in like less than a year, they bought Lukaku from us. They've taken Ashley Young and Alexis Sanchez on loan. They signed Christian Eriksen. They signed Victor Moses. They've obviously now signed Hakimi. I think they also signed Diego Godin before the start of transfer as window. So that's at least what 6, 7. I don't know if I'm missing anyone out. So like, I don't get how they just must be clever with it. It's fine, fair play to them. Fair play to Inter Milan's counterpart. But I can't remember a single side signing 7 players within the space of about a year. Really, so possibly more if I've forgotten any.
So do you think FFP need to take a look or?
This is what I'm saying. Like, it's the way they sign the players, because obviously, like say Sanchez, for example, that's like a loan deal. Ashley Young, I think, was pittance when they sort of signed him. So Eriksen was in his last year of his contract. So a lot of these players they signed in the last year of the contract, we got them for the cheap. So I don't think the amount of money that Inter have spent is like £200 million plus or something. A guy named Marotti.
I think that's the guy behind all these deals.
Okay, yeah, because it's not like they're spending 200-300 million pounds. It's just signing a lot of players, but sort of doing different sort of deals around it. But I'm just saying, because I just admire it, because like I said, I don't know many other teams in Europe that have signed about 7 to 8 players in the space of about a year and a bit. And fair enough that the board are backing Conte to get the players he wanted. As for Hakimi to Inter, it's a great deal for Inter for what Conte wants to do. And I think people already mentioned the type of coach that Conte is, with what he did obviously at Chelsea. I think that Hakimi would work well in Conte's system. Do I think this is a massive loss for Real Madrid? No, I don't think so. Like people already said, Carvajal is solid. Although I do remember that City game where Sterling did put him on his face a few times, but aside from that, he's solid. So I don't see it as been a massive. Like I agree with Jamal. I'm not gonna lie. Like Hakimi was out on loan for 2 years. The Bundesliga is different than the Premier League and obviously La Liga as well. I think Real Madrid will cope without him. The only thing I would say is that, like of any deal, like I don't know, as part of this deal, have Real Madrid not put in a buyback clause? Can someone sort of check that for me? Like, because usually there's something.
I don't think there's I don't think there's going to be a buyback clause, man.
Yeah, they don't rate him. They don't
rate him. Hey. What?
Keep talking.
Right, okay.
Keep talking.
Yeah, no.
There's no buyback clause. There's no buyback clause.
Man.
Sorry. Sorry, I'll keep on going. That image. Anyway. There's no buyback clause. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. So that's the only thing I would say. Like maybe it would have been worth Real Madrid inserting a buyback clause or first refusal or something like that for Hakimi. That's the only thing. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. I think the thing is, it's a huge deal for Inter. For me, I don't think it's that much of a loss for Real Madrid. I would still like for him to still be a Real Madrid, because I just think that it would have been really amazing to see what Zidane could use with him. But them not having him, it's not that big a deal. And I think even if Carvajal has been at his best, he's still been pretty good. And I just think, I'm not sure he fits into Milan though. But if he's used as a wing back, I think he could be real money, man. So guys, man, peace out, stay true, and Liverpool fans, let me just say this: congratulations, you've done well done, you deserve it. But a manager crying because you've won one Premier League title is quite scary. I'll see you Sunday. Become a Football Hut member and gain access to cool emojis on the live streams and get access to new YouTube content by clicking the join button here. And to view that new content, head over to the YouTube channel homepage and click on the community tab over here.
Boom.